Little update on the S10. Got some of the wiring taken care of. It had a bad radiator in it. It was clogged, so he got one of these Chinese, oh man, Taiwan, I don't know where it was from. But it was supposed to fit this S10. Of course, nothing ever fits when you get it like this. And they tapped the transmission lines to a 12mm by 1.25 thread. Well, they don't make a line to adapt, or I couldn't find one. I had to re-tap them with a die, or recut them with a die. The intake, I had to change the intake. Let me show you what it looked like. Somebody took a regular intake and cut it. I don't know what they did. I know the bolts kind of went right straight down at an angle in these, and somebody cut these out or wallered them, or you can see this one's oblonged. No light there, spin it around. There you go, you get a better shot on that. So he opted to buy another intake. It had a hole in the thermostat housing. Little pinhole. You can see any light coming through there. But yeah, there we go. It was leaking right up even where the hose was, and of course I couldn't see it because it was covered with a little bit of corrosion. Every time it would warm up and get pressure, it'd start leaking from around the hose. Well, of course the clamp was in this area, so it wasn't covering it. So got one of those. Had to do something I hate doing. Use these little fan retaining zip ties. I don't like those. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you'd see where the both TJ Chevelle and Eric Chevelle had these for extra cooling on the radiators, and wherever they mounted, they wore the core tubes out. So I don't like doing that, but you know, only option on this one was to do it, so we did it. But you know, I got a few relays and breakers. And of course, well, I changed the intake. I'm gonna fill a couple more holes. He bought me or bought him a manual temperature gauge for the inside. And I replaced this thermostat housing. Had to buy one of these funky turnable ones because, you know, all the other ones point towards the alternator, so I just basically went with what he had, or he bought what he had. So and back there on where the distributor goes, it's got a tube that comes up right there. Well, it's right in the way of the distributor hold down plate. I guess a factory one would work, but he's got one of these big you know, chrome ones, so it hits it. So I've got to go dig one of them out of my box sometime. And we'll be done with this one soon, so that's the update on that one. You're seeing it go bye-bye. Okay, I've got the Mustang. Starting on, I did get some headers for it. It kind of got scuffed up a little bit on the way through FedEx. But they'll work. It's kind of funny, I've never had this happen. I bought these headers, and the next day the company I bought them from on eBay went out of business or closed their account. Oh yes, I had a little mouse problem in my vet, which my carpets needed to be changed in this thing anyway. But they got up underneath the seat and chewed up the carpets, and then made them a nice big nest, and I got Mama over there under the pipe bender on a little mouse trap, and come to find out 7 babies were underneath the seat in my Corvette. Y'all can only imagine what that was like. So I've been watching these carpets for about 1.5 years on at Wilcox Vets. Or Wilcox, I think it's called Wilcox. But they came from a company called Auto Custom Carpets Incorporated. I'll let you know how good they fit. They're pretty much made to order, is what it says on the site. I'm trying to let them sit out a little bit and get the shape of the fold out of them. This one kind of got a nasty little bend in the bottom. I keep trying to pop out. It's underneath the seat. Probably once I get the bolt holes in it, it'll be fine. On the Mustang heads, I'm just doing my valve job. I got a Sue valve seat grinder and a Black & Decker valve grinder. That's what I use. And I'm getting them done up here. I've actually got one seat cut so far on my 45. Doing the 3 angles here. But they're nice and smooth. They're coming out good. There's a, there ain't a whole lot of meat to these seats, so you got to be careful on the cuts. But they're coming out pretty nice. We'll see how good they do once we get them done. I've got all my valves cut already. But yeah, it sure helps to have a good set of tools. Or even though they're an old set, I need to update some of my stones. And another thing, this takes a 7mm guide pin, which I didn't have. So it took me about 4 hours to take, God, what was it, a 312 pin and cut it down. I actually had 2 of these, and this one's a, bites in, a locking guide pin, which helped. But yeah, it took a while to shave that down. This is some pretty hard steel, but it's a tight fit there. But they fit nice, and then you just give it a slight turn and good to go. But I'm getting it. I'm trying to play catch up on some of this other stuff so I can get back on this car as he wants to drive it. She's been having it registered and insured for a while now, so she wants to drive it. Alright guys, I'm just rambling on here. That's what I've been up to. And plenty of my work to do, that's for sure. So when I get caught up on everybody else's, the crankshaft in that 4.6 is in good shape. I mean, just a few little marks in it, but it's coming out. I mean, not a whole lot. I'm not taking much off of them, but it's coming out pretty good. So we'll be ready to put this motor back together. The piston's cleaned up real nice, and they're all in good shape. The pins, pretty much everything's in good shape. The valves come out nice. And these Ford valves, they do a real nice back cut on them. I mean, I just barely touched them to get them where they look on the back cut. Of course, the seat was horrible on them, but they already do a back cut on the valves. So, I mean, they're pretty nice valves. They come out good. So, and the stems were nice. There wasn't virtually no wear on them. The guides were great. So I didn't have to touch those. So we'll be getting back on it soon, as he wants to be driving her Mustang. But that's what I've been up to. This Jeep's back. I think one of the calipers or one of the brake lines on the driver's side starting to seize up a little bit. He doesn't drive it enough, so it's probably something simple like that. I've got to get on that one, and of course Stevens. This was Izzy's vet. I've got the T-top seals, door main seals to do on this one yet, and the headlight assembly, vacuum assemblies. And the spring's in it, sitting up nice. He loves that spring. He says, man, what a difference. He really likes it. Rides like a dream, he said. So that's good. But that's what we're working on today, finishing up the S10. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Y'all take care. Stay warm up north. Alright, bye-bye.